Oh, are you recording this now?
Well, I edit. We can start
Editing.
whenever.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, gotcha journalism. My goal is to back
Yeah.
you into a corner, Teresa, so you have to
Okay,
lie.
I did it. I did it. I did it.
It was me and you and Katie for a little bit.
A
This
little
is
bit,
pre
yeah.
this is pre-Matt and no other crew. And so, what were
It was
you
just
originally
us.
when you originally were when I started talking to you about it? Like, what were you originally hoping for or thinking, or what kind of expectations did you have?
Well, that's the thing. I had no expectations.
That way, you're not disappointed. Yeah.
I just didn't have any. I didn't know what you wanted me to do, and I'm like, okay, whatever you think.
Yeah.
So, and then you said casting. I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of right up my alley. That would be fun.
Yeah, and I mean, that was huge for me because I had only done any kind of casting I had done before was nothing official, and it was usually just like finding somebody that I knew to do something. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was really helpful along the way because then I was learning how to look for the right talent for the right part, and so having you kind of lead that was really helpful. And I just didn't feel like I was alone, because at that point it would have just been me, you
Yeah.
know.
And honestly, I knew a lot of those people too,
Yeah.
just from, that acting world is it's a very small world.
Well, tell me when acting became a thing for you. Like, was that something that growing up was a part of your life, or?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I always wanted to be an actress, and my dad was always like, okay, well, you can do that, but you need to like have a real job. You don't want to be a starving artist. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, as I got older, I just started getting just various training through different people. I
Yeah.
went through Playhouse, Friends of the Groom, some other um, just acting organizations, and took
Yeah.
classes.
So did you start off doing stage like performance as
Yes.
opposed to film? Okay.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
that a common way for most people to start just because there's more opportunity?
Probably. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I would think
Yeah.
so because people can always get involved in community theater, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what I did. Well, no, that's not true. I actually started in church.
What did you do in church?
I was on the drama team at church. I did some directing. I was Mary one year, and the Christmas thing.
Yeah. What was your pinnacle role in like church like drama? What was like the best role that you were able to play or something to direct that you like looking back?
So, my favorite thing that I've ever directed was I did a children's version of I'm sorry, A Charlie Brown Christmas. I
Okay.
did that 3 or 4 years in a row. I
Yeah.
directed that, and I loved it because this was when we lived in Oxford. So, I had a lot of like professors' kids come, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was fun. It was
Yeah.
a unique, it was definitely different dealing with other people's kids.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I absolutely loved it. My all-time favorite role, though, that I've ever gotten to play on stage was there's a play called The Book of Liz.
Okay.
Um, Amy Sardaris, I believe is her name. She and her brother write this stuff together, and I played Liz. And The Book of Liz, they're kind of like Amish people.
Okay.
This is a comedy though,
Yeah.
and they get by with making this cheese. This is how they bring money into their community. She makes the cheese, and her cheese is just out of this world. Well, come to find out, she has a serious sweating problem. And I mean, literally, like, so in this show, I literally had to wear like this different stuff to put on me to make water come out. So you see me squeeze myself occasionally to get water to come
So
out over
like,
my
oh geez.
it was hysterical. And then it had to be noticeable so people in the audience could see water coming out as
Yeah.
I'm making cheese, and they know why it's so good. It's just this really off the wall comedy, and it was so much fun to play.
Yeah. Yeah, so talk to me about the difference between, because we had some people who have done theater that were part of the film, and then a lot of them had done either short films or things like that. So talk to me about the different skill sets required if you move from theater to film, and what were you looking for in like people that we were casting to make sure that they could make that crossover?
So the one thing that I noticed about being in theater and acting for the stage is you have to be big. Everything has to be big, right? Um, on camera, you have to be big in small ways, if that makes any sense. You
Yeah,
know, you don't need to talk as loud. You need to be able to capture those, and because you're behind the camera, you need to be able to see the nuances in somebody's expression. And
yeah,
so that's kind of what I was looking for, is what can they bring, not only verbally, but what is their body language, what is their facial expression? Because if you've got a tight,
yeah,
if you're looking at them really tightly, you
yeah.
got to be able to pick up on that facial expression.
Think of like the show Friends. Every emotion is very big on their face. Like,
Yeah.
when they're surprised, it's like the epitome of that emotion. Whereas if you put that in a drama or something like that, it's like, unwatchable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say though, I do like film better though, because it's much more forgiving. If you make a mistake on stage, you've made a mistake on stage. I mean,
Yeah,
more than likely, nobody in the audience is going to know, but
yeah,
everybody else knows. And when you're doing it for television or a movie, it's like, okay, I made a mistake. We can
yeah.
do it
Do
again.
another take. Yeah. You don't have to
It's a little bit more
yell out,
forgiving.
in the middle of the performance live line. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever had something where like in a play or a stage performance where like the actor just gets completely stuck, and like
Oh
what do
yeah.
you do when they just are stuck and draw a blank and they're not experienced enough to riff, and get out of it?
So there was actually a show that I did with Matt Benzing, as a matter of fact. He and I played a couple, and on a very last show, I can't remember, there was this one big part that was kind of pivotal
Yeah.
to the show that he totally left out. It was something about music or something. Like he was trying to woo me into having sex
Yeah.
or something. I don't even remember what part of the show it was, but he totally missed the line about the music. And so I had to just come up with, so you were even trying to play music for me a couple days ago because you
Yeah.
thought that was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Trying to insert it
So
in
I had
there.
to kind of backtrack just to get him back on track,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of fun. And yeah.
Yeah. You were really excited, obviously, about the premiere coming up, for Hope, actually, and I was really, pleased with how everything turned out. You've seen a rough cut.
It has been fun to see, from the beginning and casting people to being on set a few times that I was, to seeing it morph into what it has. And I'm excited, I'm
Yeah,
excited for my friends to see it. And
yeah,
you and Matt did a phenomenal job. So I'm really excited. And
yeah,
I'm excited because I love the people that have been cast in this. I mean, there were a few people I was like, oh, is that going to really work? And it did. It worked
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So great, talented group of people. So I'm
yeah.
excited.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa. Literally, like, I don't think it would have gotten off the ground without you, just because I didn't know where to start. And so there was, pieces of it, like especially from the talent side of things. So it was a huge, huge blessing to have you a part of it and have you on set here and there. And yeah, it was fun. So yeah. See you, Teresa.
All right, see ya. Bye.
All right. Bye.